says, hey, I took my job big and then smaller to a whole new level. The Web3 space is pretty much representative of diversity, 100%, I would say. Yeah? Okay, because people think, okay, what applies in Web2 applies in Web3. Unfortunately, not. The core principles do apply, but the majority do not understand what the core principles are. The core principles of building a brand, building an identity, having a clear communication, knowing who your audience is, knowing who the target group is, having the clear communication, that applies, okay? But when you go a level higher, the marketing, the channels and so on, I wouldn't say that does apply one-to-one. Thinking of like you are not able to advertise in social media, for example. So you have to bypass it and do different. So I would say on the deeper core level is the same. On the more specific level, it's different. I'm Shahab Ganji. I am in the crypto space since 2016. My background is marketing, branding. I've been doing this for, believe it or not, over 2 decades. And yeah, before I came to this company, I'm going to talk about it in a second, I have been consulting different kind of companies. And the principles of marketing and branding and identity creation is basically the same. But as a business and brand strategist, I always look for like what's the next hot topic, and blockchain wasn't preventable. So I dived into that, and I've been doing some marketing for different protocols, DeFi protocols, and then I've been thrown left and right. And then I got involved with NBC. I've been working for VC as a business and brand strategist and as an advisor. And then I heard about this project, name is LUDO, and LUDO was looking for a head of marketing. And then I heard about this project. I listened to it, and we are now, because I'm part of it, building the Google of the Web3 space. Basically, is an underlying search engine from the logistics, but it's more becoming a discovery and curating platform, which means that the entire space of Web3 is so huge and just vast and just exploding, and it's impossible to follow what's happening. And you need to have basically one instance that brings you the entire Web3 curated for you. So when we figure out what you want, and your wallet is exposing a lot of that and giving us an insight about your interest, we can tell you more about what's happening with Web3 that's interesting for you. This is kind of the same thing in your social media feed, where you go and you find those things that you like and things that you don't like, you pass, and things you like, you pay more attention. Just think of this in Web3 happening. So you'll be curated and know about what's happening in the Web3 space that's interesting for you, so you don't miss out. And then also you hear about earning opportunities, because making money is very important, and we connect those elements as well.
Great. I really like your tagline. They say that everything is connected.
Yes,
right?
all connected.
All
Yeah.
connected. It's all connected. So, and that's true. And what do you think? How traditional marketing and brand strategies are connected to Web3 marketing and strategies?
So the principles still do apply. The principles are: you need to have an identity, you need to have a story, you need to know who you are and what you are doing. Basically, once you have that, once you know who you are and why you are who you are, you can create a story out of that. So there's different approaches when in marketing. The one thing is like market-based view. That means you look into the market and say what is existing in the market and what does the market need. Or you do resource-based and says I'm really good in this. LUDO is originated of both, because the founder is an expert in search engine optimization for 12 years. So that's a resource. And on the other side, you looked at the market and said, hey, it's impossible to follow all those things. So he took both things and put it together. So the principles for creating and marketing do apply in the same sense, but the crypto space is special. So it's a bit more nerdy. It's way more community driven than it is, I would say, normal marketing. So you can be fine without creating a Telegram group in a normal company and be successful, or have like an e-commerce website. But in crypto, it's much needed. So people need to have a space where they can go and talk. So community is very much the focus of marketing in Web3, I would say.
One more question. What about diversity and inclusion in Web3 space? And we all know, and there's a lot of research that says that diverse teams succeed, right? So when it's a diversity of thoughts, diversity of experience, diversity of backgrounds, it's always good for creating the better products for people. So what do you think, like how this gap can be
Which gap?
gender gap, first of all?
Gender gap.
Yes.
Okay, good. So the thing is that I believe that the gap is way smaller in the Web3 space than it is in the normal, because that happens with the distance and the like remote work, number one. So people actually are much more focused on their needs and the quality being delivered than looking for very ism thingies, genderism, ageism, whatever stuff, okay? So when you hire somebody locally, people look to, although they have to by law diversity, but they tend to be more specific in their recruiting requirements, while when this is happening abroad and remote, it's not necessary. There are protocols, I know, where the people hired have never told their real name, and they have only like a NFT as the image, and they're just known as a certain crazy name that just says diversity is on, okay? Because people do not really care. I mean, it even goes deep to like, I mean, the payment system and all of this is so decentralized and like so different that people really do not care about this much because they couldn't care less because them themselves are maybe like that. A lot of them want to be anonymous, so they don't want to expose or dox themselves. So this is the Web3 space is pretty much representative of diversity, 100%, I would say. Yeah, and I haven't come across a company where that didn't matter, not at all. In the Web3 space, because there's so much talent missing and there's so many needs, I would want to say problems, but say challenges. They're happy if they find somebody that can provide a solution to it and fits their financial expectations. When these two things match, the rest doesn't really matter. But that's what I personally experienced. You know, I would say in the normal world, in real life, you have much bigger problem. And I just saw something because I live in London and UK, and I just saw that they have done studies for somebody looking for a flat, and they've just taken AI generated images of a black woman and like a blonde woman with white skin, and they have the same age, same profile, everything is identical. And they would reach out to flats and looking for an apartment, or in English word is the US word is apartment, you know. So in the British flat, and then they would apply for it and then see the responses. While the blonde one would get a nice message of, hey, what you looking? Are you looking for? Are you working locally and so on? The black woman would get say, I'm sorry, is already given away. So you see, this is really clear happening that there's racism happening even today. In the Web3 space, I don't have that at all because first of all, when you apply somewhere, you don't even send a real picture, maybe, or you don't even maybe send your real name, and they don't care about. If you can show a track record of your capabilities and that you can provide services, that's all they actually really need.
Yeah, actually, in the end, what matters is your skills and what you can deliver, right?
Yes.
What the value can you bring?
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes I always say that it's very important to deliver more than expected.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
you
true.
mentioned artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
AI became a mainstream this year.
Yeah.
So, how do you think AI and Web3 will evolve?
So that's very difficult to predict, to be honest, because you don't know of all those use cases, because all those use cases will pop up. But what I can say from it's not really Web3 specific, but it does replace a lot of jobs out there. What will happen is that niche capabilities will become less important and general managers become more important. For example, before I would give a task to a writer, okay, a journalist, to create me an entire text. So I would be depending on him, and then it would be back and forth. I would revise it. I wouldn't be capable to write that text myself. But once I get a text, I can tell exactly what has to be changed. This narrative, this wording, and so on. I've been doing it so often that now I can replace those people when I have the time to write the whole text with ChatGPT myself. I still need the capability to revise the text because the text is still not as good as necessary. But before I give it to a person doing it, I'm still doing this, by the way, but the majority of time was not that important or I need it fast. I do it with AI and I get the same outcome. So I am now with AI replacing a journalist or a writer. And this is one example. But you still need the skills that I have to advise the AI to give you the right outcome. A normal person that does not have the skill will get an outcome which is not professional. They take it, is bad. Yeah, so, and this will continue. We'll go into other pieces, UI, UX, graphics, and all those things. But you still need to have the specific capabilities to guide somebody. And I think that the people doing all those things, they have to step up a level higher. So that means the professional graphic designer, the art director, needs to become somebody who advises and uses technology to do the stuff because he knows what quality means. But eventually he will not be necessarily doing all those things themselves. And all those people that only do the skills, and are not capable to run a team, they'll be in danger. And then you just go deeper. Even smart contracts, for example, I've seen the capabilities of AI being capable to write smart contracts or find vulnerabilities. So that means audit companies might not have a job in the near future, because AI is going to do it. Like we have seen it in law, for example, that an AI can know the law much better than a lawyer or a solicitor, right? And the same thing with the auditing. So there are a lot of these industries kind of in danger to be replaced. And the problem that I see is that not everybody is really open to that idea, especially those in those industries. Yeah, they just close their eyes and say nothing is happening, but this is going to happen. So I think that it will become more efficient, much faster, but also that will give there will be a flood of quality change, which means quality will drop as well, because a lot of people will focus on AI, get bad quality, and they don't have the awareness of judging if it's good or bad, and they put this out. So there'll be a time of a lot of bad stuff out there until they get the feedback is not good, and that will then harmonize over time.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I always say that we should understand, we should adapt quick first of all, and then we should understand what knowledge we should apply to our existing one to be like competitive on the market, right? So
There was a really nice advertising I saw from Fiverr. You know Fiverr.com?
yeah.
Yeah. So they made a big advertising, and it says AI took my job big and then smaller to a whole new level. Okay, and that's basically it. If you utilize, yeah, if you utilize AI, and that's how I am so grateful, because the last years I've been really doing all those things myself, but like the writing wasn't me. Now I can do all those things myself, and I'm so grateful I have AI, because it expedites a lot of things. I have a background in economics, and now I'm capable to write like the terms and conditions of my own company with AI, because I know what I want, but I cannot start from an empty paper. But AI does that. So then really gives you much more capabilities. Like, these robots where you put a helmet and then you get much stronger. I feel like that. AI gives us certain powers that we didn't have before.
Totally. We just discussed with Anastasia that it's very important to give AI the right prompts, like the right input to get this right output, right? So that's the point. And yeah, we shouldn't be scared that AI will take our jobs if we are smart enough to implement the new skills and new technology to our existing knowledge, and try to grow and try to like grow professionally.
But you have that same problem in normal companies as well. For example, I have talked to a company that does have a really bad or no existing brand strategy. Okay, and then I've been telling, like, look, your website looks like this, but your Instagram, it doesn't add up. It's total different. And then this AI agent, it's not really good. And he was complaining to me that he's been going through 5 graphic designers and nobody was delivering the right thing. And now I told him, listen, the problem on the graphic designer is about you not being capable to verbalize what you want. And you don't have a strategy, so the graphic designer doesn't understand. You see, that problem is not AI specific, the right prompt. Is about the awareness and knowledge. So that means we need to put people in charge that are capable in whatever the prompts need to be, and then they can come in. The same person who cannot give the graphic designer, he cannot give the right prompts to AI anyways. If it's not working with people, it will not work with AI, and the other way around. So you need to have people that know what they're doing. They have to have the knowledge of what is expected, and also be capable to differ between good and bad quality. And then you can replace people with AI. But if you don't have those skills, nothing's going to help. You got to be really lucky, then you find somebody who really understands what you're doing and so on. So that person becomes your external brain. But I think that's not a good way to build a business anyways. If somebody else is taking all those things and you cannot judge, you should at least be capable to say what that person is delivering is good or bad.
Thank you. It was like very insightful as well as your speech. So thanks a lot, and thanks for live examples. Like your every answer was followed by a live example, and that's very important. And yeah, thanks a lot for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for your time as well.